Dare to dream, South fans. Dare to dream. 4 wins in a row. And I'm happy to say that our season is off life support with a strong pulse. Finals footy is back on the table. We've got the bye now. We've got the week off. And there's the stream just starting there on the phone. And then in round 18, we roll into a clash with the Parramatta Eels, full of running, with Cam Murray and Trell Mitt back after Origin. Go the Blues. So it was the Rabbitohs 14, Sea Eagles 0. And it wasn't our best performance, but we were expected to win, and we did. It was the first time we've kept the team scoreless this year. It was actually our 151st meeting between the two clubs, and only the second time in history that we've kept them to 0. It's been 75 years since the last time it happened in 1949. So happy days. It was good to keep your try line intact. They scrambled in defence. Got the job done. South are now 14th on the ladder with a 5-9 record. But in the press conference, Ben Hornby refused to look further than the next game, which is good. He said he's just worried about keeping that win streak going. But the top 8 is definitely within our reach. He doesn't want to say it, but I just saw the news that also in the presser, he basically said that Campbell Graham and Tyrone Munro probably won't be back in 2024, which isn't very good news, obviously, but it is what it is. On this show, we're going to have a look at all 3 grades, recap the games. So we've got a bit to look at. So you can live chat, and I will mention the best comments. We've got Ned Kelly already in there and said, good arvo, Mavo, and chat. Hello, Ned. Thanks for jumping in, mate. You're a legend. And I will just bring up my graphic. If you haven't subscribed already on YouTube, you can do it for free. Just need to log in with an email in the YouTube app or on a web browser. We're at 9,933 subscribers just last time I looked. So only 67 to go to get to 10,000. So if you're haven't subscribed, please do. Now, talking about 10,000, there was just over 10,000 there at the footy last night. It was a miserable day in Sydney. The rain started to come down heavier just when they kicked off. But I watched the game with Milo and Damo, Anna, Phil, and Michelle and Nola Cheney. I sat next to Nola, and we had great seats there on the halfway. Great view of the game. Now, I'm going to show you where we were sitting. And it was Junior Appreciation round. And congrats to all the kids that did the announcing and were on the field. And my little mate Mick Scarcella was out there holding the Southeastern Seagulls banner. And just have a look at Mick on the far left. This is just to set the scene of where I was sitting and the Bunnies ran onto the field.
3, 2, 1. Let's go, Roman! It's time to get on your feet! Let's make some noise for your boys! Here we are, your South Sydney
And there's the kids running off at the end. And Craig Crommelin has joined us. And welcome, mate. He said, let's remain calm, 1 game at a time. Yes, I understand that. 1 game at a time, 4 wins in a row, though. And from where we were with just 1 win a month ago to where we are now, it's chalk and cheese. Completely different attitude by this team. They're playing a whole lot better than they were back then. So, yes, that's what Ben Hornby basically said. They asked him, are you going to make the finals? He said, no, I'm not talking about the finals. And fair enough. We've still got to hope that sides lose and we win games, and we can't afford to be dropping any games. So that still is, reasonable that we may not make it. But like I said, dare to dream. We can do it. We can do it. And if they keep playing like they did yesterday, not letting in any tries, they're going to go a long way to making the finals. And if we get into the finals, who knows? It's never been one outside the top four. We probably can't make the top four mathematically, but just because it hasn't been one outside the top four doesn't mean that it can't be done. Maybe we'll be the first. Who knows? But that's good news. Now, South completed it over 90% in the first half in those miserable conditions. It ended up being an 82% completion rate to the Seagulls' 71. South missed less tackles. They had more line breaks and had less errors. And the big stat was they only conceded 3 penalties to Manly's 10. It was an extremely disciplined performance that did the jersey proud. I'm sure you all enjoyed it out there. I did at the game. We were loving it at the game. And I did watch the replay. And, you know, Vossi and Brandy, you can just tell Vossi's a South man because he does get a little bit excited by when we do some good stuff. Welcome to everyone who's live chatting. Scott Parker says, expect miraculous healing in Stretch and Munro if we get to the semis. Well, there you go. So another reason we want to make the finals, because then they might be just about right. It's a bit disappointing, though. Obviously, those two guys add a lot to this team. And if we can get them back, it'll be great. Seth Payne said, "G'day, Mavo. You were right. 4 in a row plus the bye. We're back on track, I think." There you go. The 8-point plan. Regulars of the show will remember back before this 3-peat, 4-peat happened, I said, look, you know, we've got 3 games coming up. They're all winnable. Then we've got the bye. That's 8 points in the bank. Then we roll into a decent draw after that. We've got the Eels, the Dolphins, and the West Tigers. We picked a few of them up. You know, the Raiders are coming up too. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But yes, Payne, thank you for reminding our audience that I did say that. And I made it like a mission, military-style operation, and maybe Coach Hornby and the boys were watching. And if yous were, well done, boys. Keep it going. Carlix NT's in there and says, hashtag LFGR. Let's friggin' go Rabbitohs. I said that too. Yes. Jimmy says, great game last night, and the lads really dug for each other. Richie Kenner had another great game. He has been solid for the last 3 outings. Yes, he has. And also Tane too. Tane ran for huge metres. I'm going to go through the best performances, but good like what you're seeing from all the guys. They're just coming together, and it's the next man up mentality, and they're getting the job done. David Gardner's in there all the way from NZ, and he said, good afternoon, Mavo. Great defence, getting better every time. Yes. Well, you can't complain about the defence, can you? You know, they weren't good. They missed Cherry, obviously. They missed Jake Trebojevic, but they still had some pretty good players out on the field there, you know, that are regular first graders, and they have won more games than us, and we held them to 0. Liam Waddell jumped in and said, hi, Mavo, what a win. How good was Keon? Yes. Keon Kalamatangi. I mean, he's got to be leading the Dally M's, surely. He's put 3 games back-to-back, man-of-the-match performances. 80 minutes he's playing. He's running for massive metres, scoring tries. I mean, what more could the bloke be doing? I don't know if you can move him from lock now. I don't know what happens when Cam comes back, but I'm sure they'll work something out. We'll have them both on there, or they'll alternate between each other. Travels with Michelle's joined us, and hello, Michelle. We had a good day yesterday up there and watching the game, and we really did have a good day at the footy, and thanks for looking after me too. That's Michelle from Global Mouse Travel. And South Till I Die said, bunny ears up. Yes, thank you. Tua Late said, a great game, looking good. We're looking all right. We're looking a bit of all right. I think I've also said on the show a few weeks back, you don't want to be playing us in this run home to the finals. You don't want to be meeting a resurgent South Sydney Rabbitohs who are out there bleeding for their brothers on the field, bleeding red and bleeding green on the field, just like a bloke like Jai Arrow. I mean, he copped knees on the ground and 2 head knocks, but you know what? He come back on late in the game to help him ice the game, and I thought that was good work by Coach Hornby. You know, he gave Liam LeBlanc his debut, and congrats to you, Liam. I'm going to talk about you in a minute, but then he sort of bought them all off, and he put all his experienced guys on. Big Tommy went on, and then he bought Jai Arrow on and Cookie, and they went out there and they finished the game off because the game was still pretty much in the balance till late. You know, only 8-0 with 5 or 6 to go. They only had to score and it's back on. But We didn't let it happen. And Travels with Michelle said we had players missing too. We did. And everyone was talking about how Manly had all these guys out and all their stars. But look at our injury list. It's long. You know, we've lost Junior Totola now for the season. And it looks like maybe the other two. But we'll see. We'll see. We did get Jai Gray back and haven't mentioned that yet either. But first try in the NRL. Well done. And I have been tipping you into him. He's a winner, this kid. And he's got fans too. I'm going to show you that in a minute as well. Now, Liam Waddell says Jai Gray fullback, Latrell Mitchell to centre, Cameron Murray to second row, and Keon to stay at lock. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I'm thinking maybe because Jai was feeding the scrums, you might have noticed, and I really like that option when he gets in there and he feeds the scrum and he breaks out, and I think Cookie is at lock. He breaks out and as a double option, so you can either go out the back to Jai or Cookie hits the short player. So it just keeps the defence in two minds, and he is a 5'8", Jai Gray. And so maybe you've got Jack back to the centres, Jai Gray to 6, Trell Mitt back to fullback. I'm thinking pretty much Trell Mitt's going to be the fullback. So then you have to make the decision, do you put Jai at 14 and bring him off the bench, or does Jack go back out the centres? I don't know. This is a good dilemma for Coach Hornby to have. And it's going to be a really interesting team list Tuesday when we take on the Eels. If the boys pull up from Origin, we're going to have one or two too many or whatever. We'll see what happens. I was a bit worried about Jack Whiten when he was put on report, but I've just seen that he was a grade 1 high careless tackle. He's taken if he takes the early guilty plea and pays an $1,800 fine, he's free to play next week again. In 2 weeks against the Eels. I'm pretty sure he'll pay that, Jack. I reckon he can afford $1,800. Yeah, welcome to everyone who's chatting. It's a good day after a win, isn't it? It's great. It's still a bit miserable in Sydney, but it doesn't matter. Smiles on the faces all round. Frank Subris has joined us and said Keon has found a whole new level. Well, yes, he has. But remember, he did go into Origin last year and played pretty good when they won that game 3. So we all knew he could do it. It's just... who knows what it was, why we were going so bad and now we're sort of going so good, but it doesn't matter. We'll just take it as it comes. And Frank also mentioned that playing in the middle has helped. So, yeah, in the middle, 80 minutes, it is a tough gig. But he's lapping it up. He's just getting the ball and really busting himself for this team. And Dr. TJ Penner said, good afternoon. It's Mavo here, mate. Steve Maven, former Rabbitoh 757. And Dion Sang has joined us. Hello, Dion. How you going? I saw your namesake, Dion Tialpa, out there in the New South Wales Cup. I've got him kicking a goal in a minute. I'll show you that. And Liam Waddell said some awesome pictures from the grand final reunion. Oh, thank you. Yeah. There was I did put up a whole series of the boys, like with Madge getting held up by Jason Clark and that. So those photos have been really well received. Mr. T. Penner said, great to see an 80-minute effort, keeping Manly to 0. Strong footy. Congratulations to players and staff. Thank you so very much. Yes, thank you, boys. Thank you to the Rabbitohs for giving us the joy they've been giving us. Now, we'll move on to the tries because we do like to go through and savour what happened. Now, try 1 was to that man, Richie Kennan. We've already given him a mention. He's played well. And it was Cookie. Now, Cookie, since the news has come out that he's going, I think he's on a mission, you know. We always knew what a player he was, but he's going to give it everything in this run home. I can tell you right now, and you could see what he did yesterday. He ran for over 100 metres, did 44 tackles and set up 2 tries. And one of them was to Richie. And he just skipped out of dummy half and picked up Richie. It was a good take in the wet. He ran a good line and over he goes and we're up 4-0. And poor old Cody, he got the kicking duties and he hasn't kicked one since 2013. And Vossi noticed in the call that he wasn't taking his time. He was just sort of, that's not his style. He just puts it down, gets ready and has a kick. And, he struck both of them quite well, his first 2 attempts, but they didn't go over. The next try to this man, and Sess Payne said, the Jai Gray, he's a pocket rocket. And yes, he is. And there he goes. I did enjoy seeing this, I must say. And let me set the scene. This is the try of the game. There was no less than 7 players involved in this. So it wasn't just Jai Gray scoring over in the side on the right side there. It started off with Cookie, passed to Keon, but Sean Kepi ran a decoy. Right, then Keon gets the ball, and he's got 2 decoy runners himself. Cheekam and Kenner run inside and outside decoys. Then he passes out the back to Jai, and he's got a bit of space, and he's got a 2-on-1 because Gagai is out there on the wing, keeping Jackson Paulo interested, and Jackson Paulo stayed on his wing, as a good winger does, and allowed Jai, with his great foot speed, to do what he's doing right there and score the meat pie, which was sensational. Travels with Michelle said, cheers to Jai. She's just given a donation of $7.99. Well, thank you, Michelle. You can see it in the live chat there. It's bright green, and there is a little dollar sign down the bottom of the live chat if anyone wants to make a donation as well, like Michelle. Jai Gray is getting a little fan club going. Have a look at this. I love you, Jai Gray. Biggest fan. And there's another lady there that's loving Jai Gray's work. So, yeah, he's a bit of all right, the young fella. And look, what I like about him is, you know, there's a lot of kids out there that are a little bit smaller than some of the big kids, and they might get a little bit disillusioned with football. But seeing a guy like that, young Jai, doing what he's doing, excelling in first grade and out there having a crack, just thinks, well, you know what, if he can do it, then I might be able to compete against some of these bigger kids. Yeah, he's an inspiration to the younger generation. Now, Liam Waddell said, how good is Alex Johnston? 21 more until he reaches the record. Well, how good is he? And well, just before half-time, he nearly scored. And he did everything right. And Cody threw a beautiful pass. Just lobbed it out in front of him. And AJ, he was about 5 or 6 or 7 metres out even, and he dived. But it was good work by the Tommy Talau, who come across and sort of forced him out, and AJ ended up losing the ball. But unlucky there. We all thought, here we go. Let's try number 192. And Matt Dixon's in the chat, said, is Campbell Graham playing this year or next year? Well, it looks like not this year. Hopefully we're wrong. Big stretchy boy. He's been out there running around, getting our hopes up at training, but no contact yet. And you know, he's had a major operation on his sternum, and people thinking, oh, you know, just shake it off and get back out there. But easier said than done for that sort of stuff. Cody ended up in the second half. He ended up kicking his first goal since 2013, so he went okay. But like I said, our attack wasn't at its best. We'll move on and try number 3 to this bloke. And we've already had a chat about him, but Keon Kalamatangi, shout out to Dad Izzy. We're coming to get the Eels in 2 weeks. He's going to be torn again who to go for, but I know he'll be happy that his son is playing like this. We all are. He played 80 minutes again, like I said. He's had 23 runs, 250 metres, with 106 of those post-contact. So we're loving his work. We're loving the work of the whole team, but especially that. I did mention Jai Arrow. How tough is the bloke? You know, he's probably struggling with his shoulder because he's supposed to be out for the season, but he's just taking it for the team. We've also, I thought Cheeks was solid. Michael Cheekam, 80 minutes, 37 tackles. I mentioned Kepi before. He was good against his old team. And Tom and Tallis off the bench gave us that punch. Yeah. And Dr. TJ Penna said, thank you to Big Keon. And he's talking to, mentions his cousin, Adam, that sadly passed away this week. I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Adam was a big South fan, as is most of my family, yeah. So, yeah, condolences to the family there. Now, Liam LeBlanc made his debut. And I did actually have a chat to the LeBlanc family beforehand. They had the shirts on, and so did all his friends and family. So just have a look at this. So we've got Team Liam LeBlanc here.
I'm a brother, Chad.
Mum, Nat.
Dad, Benno.
Alicia, cousin. Sister-in-law, Karina.
Brother, Ethan.
Let's go, Blonky.
Let's go,
Wearing 17 for Vince White Associates,
So there he was running on, and they had the graphic on the scoreboard. They had all the kids drawing the players, and yeah, I really like to thank the LeBlancs there. That was Chad, brother Chad, mum Nat, dad Benno, cousin Alicia, sister-in-law Karina, and brother Ethan. So I really appreciate you giving me your time there. And I know you would have enjoyed it because he went out and played pretty good, as you'll all agree. He became Rabbitoh 1200, did Liam. And I put up those photos, some photos of the family and some other stuff about Liam, and it's had some good feedback. Tom Hargraves on Facebook said he can certainly play, long career ahead. Very satisfying that he went out there and did what he did. He had some couple of good runs, and his defence, he was just chopping them down, cutting blokes in half, and did not look out of place one bit. And plenty more first grade to come, like Tom says. Now, Damien Cook. Well, I was sort of waiting to put this video out before, until the club announced it. But it's sort of like it's the worst kept secret out there now. We're all disappointed he's leaving. I know Michelle Cheney is. I spoke to her. She's really close to Cookie, as is Nola. And she said she spoke to Cookie about him leaving, and she burst into tears when she saw him. Damien said he didn't want to leave, but he's doing this to help out the club, which is the sort of guy he is. Cookie himself even said that when he announced it to the team during the week, he started crying himself, which is understandable. He's been there most of his career, and he's got some great memories at the club. So I'll just put this little tribute together, just have a look at this.
Damien Cook.
Going to go out there this weekend and get back to South Sydney footy.
Had a good captain's on, mate, so
yeah,
everyone's ready to go now.
The little one now, she's starting to yell at the TV. She was watching the Charity Shield and there's video footage of her sort of yelling, come on.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll be definitely up for that game, and we've got a hit out here against the Dragons.
See you, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
So there he is, and I put a little bit of a video there where Cookie gave his jersey to Nola Cheney after her husband Michael died. That was only days after that happened, and then also Michelle was there giving him a hug. So yeah, that's the sort of guy he is. He's always thinking of others, and he really is going to be missed. And Michelle is from Global Mouse Travel. There she is, www.globalmousetravel.com, and she loves Damien, and I said, she's shattered that he's gone, but she realises that it's the club's made the decision. But yeah, good on you, Cookie, and all the best. And who knows, he might be back one day at the club. Now, another guy that was shattered by Cookie leaving was Chris Cook. He's there on the right with a red beanie, and there he is with Dad Stephen. And he's said he was happy about the win yesterday. He said, "Glory, glory, my fellow South faithful. A gritty and gutsy one tonight. 4 in a row, baby." Now, he just put this together, did Chris. He said, "This is a sad day. Damien has grown so much at our club and given many memorable highlights and got me on my feet so much at games or at home jumping up and down. Who can forget the amount of times he has scored some great running tries and just turned the pace on? He's represented Australia and New South Wales at the highest levels of the game. He has done our club proud and his family proud. Never been in trouble off the field, and I will miss him. Hopefully he can come back in a role with our club after he retires. Now to help us finish off the season strong. It will be very emotional in round 27 with Tom and Damien's last games as Rabbitohs. It's kind of the end of an era." So yeah, some nice words there, mate. Very nice. And Christian Dark is in the chat. Welcome. And he said, "A week of mixed feelings. Great to get 4 in a row, but very sad to see Cook leaving." So yeah, it is. It's just a bit of sad news on a week when everything's been positive. But But, you know, the decision's been made now and we just have to move on. Kingpin Info said South v Parrot is going to be a ripper. Well, yes, it is. Because I think last time we played them, pretty sure last time we played them, they didn't have Mitchell Moses or King Guffo at the back. So that's two big ins for them. And, you know, they're going to be better. And it is going to be a big game. It's going to be like a turning point for us because we can't afford to drop that game. We definitely can't afford it. And Seth Payne said, Tallis Duncan reminds me of a young Cam Murray. Well, he does. He's a little bit like him. He's good defender, solid defender, runs the ball great. He's got those good hands. He works. He jumps in and does that link and sets up the play outside him. So, yeah, I can agree with that. A couple of people have asked me, why does he wear his headgear in the first half and take it off? I'm not sure. If you're watching this, Tal or Dad, if you're watching, maybe let us know. I think maybe he just might get a bit hot and he takes it off, or is it a superstition thing? I'm not sure. I don't know if he did it last night. I can't remember if he did or not. Oh, Darren Finlay's just jumped in the chat and he's given me a super chat with $20, mate. Darren Finlay, you're an absolute legend. You can see it stands out in orange there in the chat. So, mate, I really appreciate your support. And another bloke who supports the channel is Greg Allen. And there he is on the right with the family and friends with the thumbs up. He was at the game last night. And look out for his article coming up, his recap of the game on Bunnies TV. We'll move on to the New South Wales Cup. And there it is, the score. They got rolled 42-20. So it wasn't a good night for them. But they did score a couple of tries. I've got a few highlights here. And here's a try by Jude Saldana.
Yep.
Here we go. Look at him. He's going with the enemy.
Go!
Go, son.
He's there.
So that was a try by Jude Zaldana on the left. Now, I've got another one here from Bailey Bentley Harpe on the other side.
No.
Go. Oh, yes.
Reached out.
Neon Dion on the sideline. But Manly were way too good on the day. Like you just saw the score there, 42-20. And one of the reasons for that is because they had a guy called Jamie Humphreys. Now he scored a try and he kicked 7 from 8 and he was setting tries up. He was everywhere, this Jamie Humphreys, the number 6 for them. Now, I was filming South running that way and just watch this. There's an intercept and he gets the ball, but there's a cameo from a couple of South players there, Kalen Miller, Brock Gray, and another bloke who walked through the shot. So I just thought I'd put that up to show you.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, so he goes over there and scores the try. I cut it off a bit early there, but we don't want to see them scoring. Travels with Michelle said, thanks, Daz. So thank you to everyone who supports the show. There's a bit of talk about who we're signing. It's going to be interesting to see who they come up with. We will move on to the Jersey Flag, and they were beaten 34-6. The only try they scored was to the captain, Louis Grosmy, and I managed to film that as well.
It's the last chance before half time. A little kick through. Try. Louis.
Yeah, so Louis got the ball down and scored the try, but unfortunately that was the only try that they were able to get. And the bloke who kicked it there was TJ Herring, and he walked up to the stands after the game, and I just shot a bit of him too.
TJ.
G'day, mate.
Hello, mate. How are you? All right.
mate. You well? All right.
So obviously not too happy because they basically got smashed, but, you know, back to the drawing board for those guys. We'll see what happens. Travels with Michelle said, it's all over the Manly chats that he is coming to South. So that gentleman that I'm talking about, Jamie Humphries, I'll let it play again, and you can see. Well, this time I'll let you see him scoring it. But apparently we have signed this bloke.
Oh, look out. Oh, he tackled him over the line. Did he lose it? No. Try.
So that was him there. He backed up I think it was the winger, and caught the ball, and he just burnt Ryan Gray and scored the try. So yeah, thank you for that, Michelle. Apparently he can play hooker as well, and he's been signed as a backup, but he couldn't have been more impressive. He was like everywhere, that guy. So yeah, that's the way it went yesterday for the New South Wales Cup. Before I let you go, you can find Bunnies TV on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are brought to you by SEQ IT Services, George's Cameras, the Juniors Group of Clubs, the Instagram. Follow us there on Instagram at Bunnies TV AU. And so I'd also like to shout out to Tina and Nick Fletcher, who I spoke to after the game. They watched it with the LeBlancs and Shane Gray, Jai's dad, so they had a good day. And Nick was saying he was talking to Ben LeBlanc, and he said, "Mate, your boy went good. He couldn't have. It was a great debut." And like I said, a few people have said in the chats, he was noticeable that he didn't look out of place. As far as Tommy Fletcher goes, he got through the game okay, and he said he could have played more than the 50 minutes they let him play. So it's good to see Big Thomas back, and he's got a future at the club as well. So this Saturday, round 17, even though it's a bye week, if you want to watch them Rabbitohs, me and Milo and we could be doing the flag and the cup on the Saturday. I'll confirm that during the week. Live stream from Redfern Oval. The women have also got a trial. They had a trial today out there at Narrabeen, so I hope they went okay. And then they've got another trial on the next week, this weekend coming up against the Tigers. So we might try and get some of that as well. Oh, Nicky Bird said, "Thanks, Mavo." Thank you. Shout out to you and Tina. And Darren Finlay said, "We need more luck with injuries next year." Yeah, we do. So it's been a horrible run with injuries, but we've turned it around quite well. And the guys that are out there doing the job, you know, the season's not done yet. There's more to come, more twists and turns. Let's keep our heads up high and hope we get the job done. So first grade, enjoy the week off and bring on the Eels in 2 weeks. Up the mighty Rabbitohs. And what I'm going to do is leave you with a 3-minute video that I shot after the game. So if you weren't at the game yesterday, me and Michelle were, and Ola and Milo, you get up and sing Glory, Glory to South Sydney. And it was quite an enjoyable sing. And I'll just leave you with that. You can just soak up the atmosphere of what it was like post-game. I'll be back on Team List Tuesday. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so Team List Tuesday the following week. So we'll have a week off. Enjoy the break, but I'll still put the teams out for the pathways, and we'll still cover the pathways because there was also a good game on Thursday. That was Kerwin Cubs. The Townsville boys came down and played our development boys, the 15-16s, and that was great. There were 68 points scored, and a lot of you would have watched that. Some of the highlights are up all over the place. There's some good performances in there, and I did meet some of the Kerwin kids at the captain's run, and they were great young kids, and they told me I got a few names wrong. I think it was Clarvin, we'll call him Clarvin Off, and I think it's Orth. I'll have to check that. Next show I'll tell you how to pronounce it properly, but we like to get it right eventually. So I'll leave you with this. Enjoy. Up the mighty Rabbits.
Lucky. Jason. Jason Clark.